Hello and welcome to another Wargamer Girl Battle Report. I am Miranda, and today I've got my friend and opponent Dylan joining us.
Hello.
We are going to be playing the new board game from Corvus Belli called Aristeia.
I'm going to be on the orange team, and Miranda's going to be on the green team.
So let's jump right into it. We used the pre-selected teams from the rulebook to play. The green team is made up of Hexer with the Untouchable and Ragdoll cards, Maximus with the Block and Scram cards, Parvati with the Reset 2.0 and Nanoid Cloud cards, and Major Luna with the Spot and Opening and Ricochet cards. The orange team is made up of 8-Ball with the Badass Boom and Block cards, Miyamoto Musashi with the Mizudo and Sorodo cards, Wild Bill with the Ace of Clubs and Ace of Hearts cards, and Gata with the Quicksilver and Go All Out cards. We are playing the Conquest scenario. The scoring zones are 1, 2, 4, and 5. We can only deploy and return to the game in zones 3 and 6. The green team draws 4 tactics cards, and so does the orange team. My opponent and I take turns deploying our models in our respective starting zones. And now that all the models are deployed, let's start round 1. We determine the order our models will activate in the planning phase. My green team is the underdog, so I go first. For the turns phase, the teams each flip their first card and the model with the higher initiative decides who goes first. Orange team lets my character Hexer activate first. I play my tactics card, Catch Your Breath, to draw 2 more cards. With the first of her 5 action points, Hexer casts Vade Retro on an obstacle in the Hexadome. I roll 3 yellow dice looking for 1 success icon, but fail to move the obstacle. I can still switch to cause Hexer to displace 1 space though. She performs Vade Retro again on the obstacle and manages to displace it 1 space. She casts it again, but fails to get the required icons. She casts Vade Retro twice more and fails to move the obstacle or switch to displace herself. On the orange team, Musashi activates and plays the tactic card Catch Your Breath to draw 2 tactics cards. He then plays Ace of Hearts to pull Catch Your Breath from the discard pile. He then plays Catch Your Breath again to draw 2 more tactics cards. Musashi then moves 5 squares into scoring zone 4. We reveal our next models to activate and compare initiative. Major Luna goes first and spends 2 action points to move 4 spaces, then another 2 action points to move again into scoring zone 5. 8-Ball activates and spends 2 action points to move up 4 spaces. He then spends another 2 action points to move into the center scoring zone. We reveal our next models to activate, and Wild Bill wins initiative, but passes first activation to Maximus. He spends 4 action points to move twice and make it into the center scoring zone. Wild Bill also spends 4 action points to move twice and make it into scoring zone 2. We reveal our last models to activate, and Gata's initiative beats Parvati, but lets Parvati activate first. She spends 4 action points to move twice into scoring zone 1. Gata activates and moves up. She then uses the ability Free Run to hop over the obstacle and enter the center scoring zone. She then uses Misdirection on Maximus and rolls a success. This affects Maximus with the Dazzle status. For the objective phase, we see what zones are conquered. Green team controls zones 1 and 5. Orange team controls zones 2, the center zone, and zone 4. Orange scores 1 point for the center zone, and another 2 points for controlling more zones than the green team. In the recovery phase, since the orange team scored, he draws 2 cards. The green team draws 1 card. The underdog token stays with the green team. I hope you're enjoying the game so far. I did want to take a moment to ask you to click on the bell next to the subscribe button down below this video so that you get notified anytime I upload something new, since YouTube probably won't tell you. Alright, on to round 2. We place our activation cards in the planning phase. Each team flips their first activation card. Gatta wins initiative and decides to go first. Gatta uses free run to jump over the obstacle, then moves over to Zone 5 where Major Luna is. For her last action, she attempts misdirection on Major Luna. She rolls a success and Major Luna gains the Dazzle status. Maximus activates and plays a card to add a yellow die to his Jotun's shield attack. 8-Ball also plays a card to add a blue die to his defense roll. Maximus rolls 2 successes, 2 specials, and 1 block. 8-Ball rolls 2 successes, 1 special, and 1 block. Maximus switches the 2 specials to displace 8-Ball. Then 8-Ball switches a block and special to displace back into the center zone. Since he spent a block for this, he can't defend from the successful hit by Maximus and takes 2 wounds. Maximus takes 1 damage, then the Dazzle status expires. We flip our next activation and Green Team has 8-Ball activate first. He attacks Maximus. The Green Team plays a card to add 2 blue dice to the defense roll. 8-Ball rolls his attack and rolls 2 successes and 1 block. Maximus rolls 5 blocks and 1 success, which 8-Ball blocks. He does gain the taunt status from Maximus's switch. 8-Ball uses the ability Be Water Dude on Maximus. It succeeds and displaces Maximus outside the center scoring zone. The taunt status expires. Major Luna activates, and because of the Dazzle status, she cannot shoot. So she uses the general move Contender for 3 action points in an attempt to damage Gatta. Luna does nothing, and Gatta rolls 1 success on her defense, causing 1 wound to Luna. The Dazzle status expires. Luna attempts a move action to disengage from Gatta. She succeeds and moves back 1 space. We flip our next activation cards. Musashi wins initiative and goes first. He spends 4 action points to move into scoring zone 5 with Major Luna. Hexer activates and spends 2 action points to move towards zone 5. She casts Vade Retro to try and displace Musashi, needing 1 success icon. She is able to displace Musashi and also uses a switch to displace herself. She casts Vade Retro again, targeting Musashi, but gets nothing. She casts 1 last time and is able to displace Musashi and herself again, but Musashi plays a card to nullify my die, so I cannot displace him. Hexer can still move. We flip our last activation cards and Wild Bill wins initiative. Wild Bill moves up and attempts to shoot Pravati with twin pistols. Both gain a black cover die. Wild Bill has 1 success and 1 block. Pravati has 2 blocks, 1 success, and 2 special icons. She takes no damage, nor does she cause any. Pravati spends 4 action points to move into the center scoring zone, and spends 1 action point to medikit Maximus. She succeeds and heals him for 1. We enter the objective phase and the center zone loses any domination. Zone 5 becomes conquered by the orange team, and zones 2 and 4 remain conquered. Green team conquers 1 zone. The orange team scores 2 victory points for conquering more zones than the green team. In the recovery phase, orange team draws 2 cards, and the green team draws 1. Green team maintains the underdog token. Alright, starting round 3. Let's see if I can make a comeback. We enter the planning phase and set up our activation order and flip our first activation cards. Gatta wins initiative and goes first. Gatta moves up 1 space and uses misdirection on Major Luna. She needs 1 success and makes it. Major Luna gains the Dazzle status. Gatta continues moving and needs to disengage. She plays a card to add a yellow die to the roll. The roll succeeds and Luna cannot stop her. Gatta moves up to Hexer and uses free run to hop over her. She then spends an action point to cast Misdirection on Hexer. She succeeds and Hexer gains the Dazzle status. Gata has 1 action point left and spends a card to gain an action point. Green team spends a card to nullify that action. Orange team plays another card to gain an action point, leaving Gata with 2. She moves again and must disengage from Hexer. Gata rolls 3 successes and 2 specials. Hexer rolls a single special and cannot stop Gata from leaving the space. Gata moves to the center zone and uses Free Run to move adjacent to Parvati. Orange team plays another card which prevents Gata from being displaced. Hexer moves into Zone 5 and attempts a gotcha move on Musashi. She plays a card to add an orange die to the roll. She rolls 3 successes and 4 specials. Musashi gains the immobilized status. She then casts Vade Retro on Musashi, needing 1 success, but gets a block and 3 specials. She does displace herself back a space. The Dazzle status expires. We flip our next activation cards and Musashi wins initiative and chooses to go first. He attempts the Contender attack on Major Luna. Because he targeted Luna, Maximus is able to displace 1 space. Musashi rolls 1 success and 1 block. Luna rolls 1 success, 2 blocks, and a special. Neither model takes damage. Maximus activates and attacks Gata with Jotun's shield. He plays a card to add a yellow die to the attack. Gata also plays a card to add 2 blue dice to the defense. Maximus rolls 3 blocks, 1 success, and 3 specials. Gata rolls 1 success, 1 block, and 1 special. No damage is taken. We flip our next activation and Wild Bill wins initiative, but has Major Luna go first. She moves up 1 and attempts the Contender attack on Musashi since she is affected by the Dazzle status and cannot shoot. She rolls nothing. Musashi rolls defensive dice and gets 2 blocks and a special. His switch allows him to change the blocks to successes, which actually inflicts 2 wounds on Luna and sends her to the infirmary. The immobilized status expires. Wild Bill activates and shoots at Maximus with twin pistols. He rolls 4 successes and 2 specials. Maximus rolls a critical block, a regular block, and a success. The critical block can remove an entire die from Wild Bill's roll, so only 2 wounds go through. Wild Bill then moves into scoring zone 1 to conquer it. We flip our last activation cards and Parvati wins initiative and goes first. She attempts the Contender move on Gata as a last-ditch effort to control the center zone. She rolls 1 orange die and gets nothing. Gata rolls defense and only gets a single block. Parvati spends an action point to medikit Maximus. She needs 1 success and makes it. Maximus heals for 1. Parvati attempts medikit again and succeeds, healing Maximus back to full. 8-Ball activates and attempts the ability Be Water Dude on Maximus. He plays 2 cards to add an orange and yellow die to the roll. The roll succeeds and displaces Maximus outside the zone. We enter the objective phase, and Orange conquers Zones 1, the Center Zone, and Zone 5. He still controls Zones 2 and 4 as well. Orange gains 1 victory point for controlling the Center Zone, and 2 victory points for controlling more zones than the Green team. This puts the Orange team up to 8 victory points, which ends the game with the Orange team as the winner. So that was just painful.
Miranda, I thought you were supposed to be good at games. What happened?
Well, it's good to know that my ability to roll 1s in War Machine translated to blanks in Aristeia, like consistently. I can't believe how badly I rolled. Anyway, let's talk about some of the highlights of the game. So we played the Conquest scenario,
right,
which has you sort of spread out on the board, and your models are way faster than mine, so it does seem a little biased to one team for that scenario anyway. I don't know what your thoughts were.
I was just getting Gata all over the board, so I was just getting a total shutout with her. Everywhere you would go, I'd be jumping over your head, landing dazzles on your ranged characters.
Oh my gosh, Luna did nothing except kill herself.
Yes.
She did do that.
That was a highlight of the gameplay.
So Contender, that's an interesting move. Don't necessarily use that all the time.
Yeah. I think you probably would have been better off just
I would have been better off just
nothing.
standing back while you were immobilized with Musashi, I think was him. Yeah, that was that was bad. And then Hexer. So Hexer, we did a practice game beforehand, and she is a really cool character. You don't actually have to spend any of her action points for movement. She can just, warp around by moving things or displacing things. And that was really cool when you can get a success roll. I can't believe how few and far between those were, even for her.
It was seemingly super easy for her because her trigger on her card is built specifically for that. Yet you would hit blanks, you'd be missing like an exclamation point, and that's all you needed. And so close every single time. You should have just walked forward at that point.
So thank you, Corvus Belli, for giving me loaded dice. Well, obviously, it couldn't possibly be my fault. So, I don't know. Overall thoughts on the game, team balance-wise, we picked the built-in teams from the instructions.
I really liked my team. I thought I had a good team composition. They brought a lot to the table. Good damage, good sustain. We're able to hold objectives well. I feel like your team has that too.
I think so, if they're not dazzled all the time.
Exactly.
Because Major Luna really should have been able to do quite a bit more damage. And Maximus is really cool,
right,
especially with the ability to displace if you target anyone other than him. So overall, I think team-wise, it's pretty fun. I stayed as underdog the whole time. What was it, 0 to 8?
Yeah.
So anyway, it was either way, even losing, it's still a fun game because there's a lot of back and forth action with it and a lot of triggers, and it takes a little bit figuring out the dice, but it's actually not too bad. So I enjoyed it. Thank you very much to Corvus Belli for sending it to me. And if you guys out there have played this game, definitely let me know. Comment down below and let me know what you think of it. If you think I should have won. If you think the dice were loaded. I think the dice were loaded. Anyway.
I don't know.
Dylan, thank you very much for joining me in this game and letting us record it. And we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.